Green productivity is an approach, a systematic approach and a holistic approach to achieve sustainable development. So it's very relevant to develop sustainable cities. I think GP consists of environmental issues, social issues, and also economic issues. So it means that if you develop sustainable cities from the beginning, then you have to integrate or mainstream GP into your planning, urban planning. So that is the first thing that you have to do. But to move an existing city to sustainable cities, then the challenge is much more bigger than if you develop a new city directly with the concept of green productivity. There are many challenges actually, because the human resources is one challenge. If they understand the concept of GP correctly, I think then it will be easier for us to change all the management system in the city and the planning system that they already have. So it means that understanding and knowing what is the objective of GP is very important. Then you have to let them aware about what is GP and how to implement GP into a city. Then secondly is that after you have to mainstreaming the GP to the existing planning, then you have to have a commitment from the leader of the city, means the mayor or the governor, in order that they would like to review their planning, their urban planning that already exists. Then after that, you have to ask participation from all stakeholders in the city. Means that not only the government, but you have to invite and ask participation from people, from the community, and also from the scientific academia or university, NGOs to participate. And don't forget the business, private sector also need to participate, because sometimes they can contribute a lot in form of funding. So all stakeholders need to be convinced, take the leadership from the government, then they can change the existing urban planning that they have. Maybe if you come to Indonesia and ask one decision maker in one ministry, the concept of GP or the definition of GP, maybe they don't understand. But they have actually already implemented in other terms, because we know green productivity, we know green growth, we know sustainable development, so many terms that being confused by decision maker. But if you ask in other way, that have you implement waste minimization, for example, and say, oh yes, I have done it. So, but if you ask, have you implement GP? Then the answer, no, I don't know. So then it depends on how is your approach to them, asking every part of GP that they have already implemented. So waste minimization is one. And then secondly, for example, certification, green product. So they know about green product, but if you ask green productivity, maybe, oh no, I don't know exactly what is green productivity. So awareness still need to be done by APO from my point of view, but it doesn't mean that the country or the city in Indonesia doesn't implement GP program. Actually, they already implement some part of GP, not yet in an integrated approach. So that's the biggest challenge. Let them understand what does GP mean, what is the objective, what are the steps. Then, oh yeah, I'm doing this and this. So that is the way you have to question decision maker. But from my point of view, still you need to conduct awareness building and capacity building. Okay. As I mentioned in my presentation, commitment is very important. Every city has established master plan and being stamped as the map or the master plan to see the city for 10 years from now or 20 years from now. But if the commitment from the leader of the city is not fully there, if an investor comes, I would like to construct a mall that actually in the map is being planned for a green area, then because of the investment attraction, then the leader say, okay, then that is the way of challenges or the challenges that happening in the city if the commitment of the leader is not there. So in transforming the city to sustainable cities, you need an integrated and holistic approach of urban planning, and then you have to integrate the green productivity plan in the integrated approach. Also waste minimization and also sustainable or community that need to participate also in this process. So not only being established by the government, but you ask in a city town hall, discuss with the community that we in the city would like to do this and this and this. We would like to change this to more sustainable, for example. So with the participation of community or people that living in the city itself, then there will be an ownership of all citizens in the cities to contribute and help the government. So the government alone cannot do that. So they need to have support from cities, from business, etc. Holistic integrated approach is very, very crucial. Not partially implemented, I think. The government need to make a plan in their master plan. So based on that proposal, then the government open this to ask input from all stakeholders. And then the people, for example, living nearby the dam that will be demolished, for example, can say something and contribute something to the government. Oh, that is not good, because if you maintain the dam there, then the water availability, etc., will be not disturbed, not destroyed. So then communication with people is very important from my point of view. But some decision maker say, I have the right, so I will do. Then there will be an unstable situation and condition. I think everywhere happens, not only in Indonesia. So with that kind of communication, I think make a more transparent policy, and then participation from people is there, then they will also maintain and also guard, for example, what is happening actually in the city itself. Yes, so this is the starting point. We have a clean and green city program, what we call it in our language, Adipura. With Adipura, we establish a criteria based on the population of the city. So we cannot compare city A with city B if they have different number of population. So we have a criteria and indicator. So after that, since I'm the chair of the ASEAN Working Group on Environmental Sustainable Cities, now we expand our criteria and indicator to all ASEAN countries. Now we have ASEAN criteria and indicator. So we have cities in Indonesia, we have cities in Malaysia, in Vietnam, Myanmar, that can be comparable. So we decided to agree on that, and we have ASEAN Award for cities. So that is the progress since I'm chairing the ASEAN Working Group on Sustainable Cities. I hope we can multiply many more cities in Asia to be more sustainable. I want to see many more sustainable cities in my country, of course, with a certain criteria and indicator that you can measure. Because I can claim I implement GP, but if you don't establish an indicator, and how can you measure the progress that you already achieving 50%, 70% or 100%? What you already planned. So from my point of view, I want to see more sustainable cities in my country, not only in my country, but in all APO member countries. And then with that, actually, we don't need to learn from zero, because there are so many existing programs already. What you have to do is that you share the information and best practices that already available, then try to take some good things according to your needs, because every city has different challenge. So after that you adapt to your own needs, then adopt as your new plan for your city. So with that, you can multiply. The multiplier effect will be faster instead of starting from zero or from the beginning.